Mm. Good morning. Morning. Good morning. It is early morning for me. What's going on, boys and girls? TJ, you're up early. Bull of the woods. Good to see you, brother. My name is Nobody. Good this morning. Good morning. Wheelburnerexpress at gmail.com. Nobody. Wheelburnerexpress at gmail.com. Nothing fancy. Good to see you, though, bro. Thanks for being here. Jim, good morning. I think Ernie went live already this morning, did he not, Jim? What are you popping in from Ernie? Appreciate that, man. Demonetized. Good to see you again this morning. Well, it's good to see you every morning. Oh, it's only 5:30 here. Actually, it's 5:45 here in the morning. We're going a little earlier than usual. I have I have some things I got to do, so I can't go. Victoria's not working, so she's still up in bed, and we got things we're going to be doing today because we're taking off. We're taking off tomorrow for a mini vacation. So I got to take care of some stuff. We got all the running around shit to do today, you know. Asher Taylor, good to see you. Hey, mate. How's your day been going? Well, brother, I've been out of bed for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And this here is the first cup of coffee. First cup of coffee right here. So you guys got me before my first shot of adrenaline. So, oh, did you guys get the slurp? My woman hates that. She hates when I slurp my coffee. She hates when I slurp anything. Oh, oh, I didn't even notice that. What a shameless plug. Shameless plug. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, your coffee does not taste as good as it should until you're drinking it out of a Wheelburner Express mug. And I don't suggest you go buy one because they're a ripoff on the store. I don't endorse anybody buy anything on the store. I've actually bought more stuff off of my own store and sent it to you guys for free than because I feel horrible asking you guys to go buy anything. Yeah. I prefer a good cigar more. Oh, so do I. Amir, what do you smoke? What's your stick of choice? I'm a Rocky Patel guy, and I do like I do like the Monte Cristos from Monte Cristos. I do like the Cahibas, but those are all big name. Everybody who's anybody. Oh, I smoke a Monte Cristo. No, you know what? I smoke Rocky Patel. I love Rocky Patel. It's a good blend. It's a Nicaraguan cigar. It's not even a Cuban. Excellent, excellent cigar. Got I think they've got he's got I think there's 14 now, 14 different blends of cigars of what you can get. Really, really good. Really like it. Gangland. I bashed my neighbor. He started crying saying he was 49. It sounds like a problem. I don't have that issue today. I'm just sitting out in my backyard having my coffee and my first smoke. So ah, could have known not to play around. Good morning, Camille. Good to see you, my friend. Camille is one of our moderators. Always a pleasure, brother. Hey, man, I'm 19. Got any life advice? Don't let your dick run your life. Don't let your dick run your life. Now that's the quick version of it. And at 19 years old, I'm gonna assume you're a male. Anything that you're afraid to do, do it. Do it. If there's things in your life that you want to do, but you're too scared, or you're afraid, or you're uneasy, or you anything, anything, do it. You don't want to be that guy at 65 years old sitting there going, I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd done that. If there's anything that's been put in front of you, no matter how challenging it is, even if you fail at it, that's all right. Even if you fail at it, do it. If you fail at it, fine. There's nothing wrong with failing at things. I've done just about everything on my bucket list, and I've done everything there is that I want to do in my life. There's a couple of things I still want to do, obviously, but there's things in my life that I've wanted to do, and I do them. I did them. Sometimes I had to be pushed and prodded, but I did them. I'm not going to be that guy that's going to sit there and go, I wished I'd taken this chance, or I wished I'd taken that chance. Stussies, good to see you. Frederick, good to see you. How the hell are you, man? Greg Rat's in here. There's our other moderator. Unc, can I have your short? Can I have your short? My shirt, you mean? No, you can't have this hoodie. Sorry. Accidental Genius. Nice name. Love that. Hey, oldie, I am smoking weed while you're smoking a cig. Who's living right now? Well, depends on how what your terms in life are. I could smoke a joint if I wanted to. I choose not to. I'm a recovered drug addict, dude. Accidental genius. I'm a recovered drug addict. I'm a recovered alcoholic. So, I had my fun while you were smoking weed. I was banging back big rocks of crack. So, you have your fun with your weed. I had my fun with cocaine and crack. Art of Fame. The Art of Fame. Nice, nice. Like the name. You guys are coming in with some pretty good names here. Pretty good names here this morning. Do me a favor. I don't ask anybody to sub. Don't s- if you know just if you don't feel like subbing to the channel, that's fine. Um, but I do ask kindly that you stroke the like button, hit the like button for me. I don't mind that. What's your story? Well, my story began but I live my life one day at a time, and that's how I live my life. Right. So my story started when I opened my eyes this morning, and luckily, mouth hasn't caught up yet. Luckily for me, that I woke up on this side of the grass. I rolled over and I had a fine woman in bed with me this morning, And it's the same woman that was there yesterday morning, and she was there the morning before that, and hopefully she's going to be there for the rest of my life. And you know what? That's my story. Um, you know, that's my story. I live my life today. I don't live my life way up in the future. Yes, we make plans. I make plans for the future. There's things I want to do, and then, future dates. You make plans and this and that. But I don't live my life in the future, and I do not live my life in the past. I absolutely refuse to live my life in the past. It doesn't get me anywhere, and it doesn't do anything for me. Oh damn! Oh damn! Is that oh damn or oh damn? Good to see you. Hi from Tanzania, African. I like your channel, my friend. Welcome Tanzania. You can drink pure coffee from the farmer's. Sorry for my English. Hey, you know what? Your English is probably just as good as mine, brother. Don't you worry. Just keep on typing. I'll figure out what you're trying to say. Uh, Who's this Battimon? I'm just but a simple man living my life, working my way through the world. That's all I am. I love that name, Accidental Genius. Fuck me, that's good. That's really good. Accidental Genius. I don't know if it's good advice for criminals. Well, don't be afraid. Take that chance. Roll those dice. Gamble. Don't back down. Don't back down. Next best piece of advice is don't back down from your own morals. If it's something that you truly believe in and it's something that's important to you, don't sacrifice. Stand by your own morals. Stand by your own character. You know, Character is who you are and what makes you up as a person or as a man or as a woman, and that character is all you've got. It's the only thing you own in life, truly own in life. You own a car, but you in the bank or whatever. The only thing life you truly own, there's two things. You own your name and you you own your character. Don't ever compromise your character. Don't ever back down. If somebody's questioning or putting your character under the microscope, you stand by it. Unless you're a fucking dirtbag. And there's a few of those around. 35 years ago, I was one of them. Corn smoker. Oh, come on. Son of Sammy Davis. Nice name. What's the point of you pooping in your hand and dropping it in the toilet? Just sit on the bowl and let it fall. It's more sanitary. Well, I don't know why you'd want to poop in your hand and then drop it in the toilet. I don't know why. I've never had that thought. Never had the idea in my head to maybe try it. If it's something you're doing, right? If it works for you, keep it going. 7th of October. Nice name. Hello, my name is Fripa Lestian. Fripa Lestian. Nice name. Good morning, Crab Rat. How the hell you doing this morning? Ramazan, he's riding shotgun. Nice. What's in the cup? Putty, patties, putty. The eyes and mouth and brain are not connected yet, right? This is the first cup, right? And I've got my standby ready to go. So, uh, what's in there? It's just coffee. We grind our own beans here, and we make good coffee, and this is a good cup of coffee. That's all it is. Nothing else in it. There's no whiskey. We used to, not we. I used to put whiskey in my coffee, or actually, it's kind of gross. But try it if you're a drinker and you need a quick shot in the morning. Try a little, about a half ounce of tequila in your coffee, but don't use coffee cream. Use milk instead when you use tequila. Put a shot of tequila in your coffee. If that doesn't get your fucking wires lit up in the morning, that nothing will. Ooh, Candace Monroe, good to see you. Why would this man poop in his hand and drop it in the toilet and drop it in the waste basket? Just use the toilet, sir. Candace, I don't have an answer for that. Why would people look around, Candace, look around the world right now and then think about some of the crazy shit that people do? Why would people do half the shit they do? You know, I'm at the age now in my life where very little surprises me. You know, if somebody says that they shit in their hand and they drop it in the wastebasket, okay. If if that's what works for you, man, hey, that's what works for you. But very, very little, very few things in my life today surprise me, like openly surprise me, and I sit there and go, "Oh my God, do you?" You know, it still does once in a while. Something will catch me off guard, but hey, dropping a deuce in your hand and putting it into the garbage can, that's not one of them. Oh, Andre, I'm a Hamas I'm this weirdo. And you want me to be banned. Okay, you ban me. Go ahead and ban me. Work yourself out on that. In the gaming, what did I just stumble into? Only God knows. You're the only one that knows. I don't have a clue. It's 6 o'clock in the morning where I'm at. I'm out on the west coast, not the west coast. I'm out west. I'm Canadian. I'm out in the province of Alberta, and so it's exactly 6 a.m. where I'm at. And, like I said, you didn't stumble into anything. I'm just like having my second cigarette of the morning, and I'm finishing my first coffee, and I'm trying to get the brain and the mouth to work at the same time. Unsuccessfully. Unsuccessfully. I am in enemy territory. Alex C, and you're not in enemy territory. I have no enemies. I have people that don't like me, that's okay, but they're not my enemy. Um And if you're in my chat, you're not in enemy territory. There's nothing going on in here it's gonna affect you in a negative way or, uh, as long as everybody in here can be respectful to each other, I'm good with that. If you got anything you wanna say to me, please feel free to say it. You won't be timed out, you won't be banned unless you get completely off the rails. Um, you know, you don't like what I'm doing, that's fine. Tell me you don't like what I'm doing. If you like what I'm doing, fine. Tell me you like what I'm doing. But, there's no enemies here, Alex. May I have the context, there's no context right now this morning. We're just gonna do a quick live. Usually I go live in the morning and I think the yesterday's live was about 3.5 hours. The one day before, we were about 4 hours. Today's gonna be shorter. It's 6 o'clock. I have to be out the door here by 8:30 this morning, so, we're only gonna do maybe an hour, hour and a half here this morning, you know? And I just thought, and it's a little earlier than I usually go, but I just thought let's go live and do a little early morning bullshitting. Nothing wrong with that. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about. You come up with the subject, you come up with the topic, we'll talk about it. I'll stick with just the coffee. Yeah, well, you know what? Depends on how badly you want you get your wires lit up in the morning. Ah, 9/11 now is more memorial with, the death of, Kirk. Jesus Christ, did anybody see that yesterday? See? That, I wish I could I saw the video of him being Charlie Kirk getting shot. I wish I could unsee that. You know, I've seen some pretty bad things in my life, but, that was pretty fucking graphic. I wasn't a Charlie Kirk devout follower. But some of the things the man said made sense. Some things I could see that he was fishing to pick a fight, and that's okay. That's what people on those kind of platforms are there to do. It's to make people think. And sometimes you got to, verbally, you have to pick a fight to get people engaged. You know, sometimes it's better to get somebody a little angry, which will force them to engage, which then you get a good conversation out of. And Charlie Kirk was very good at that. Um, but did the man deserve to die just for his opinions or his thoughts or his nobody deserves to die for that. Nobody deserves to die. Charlie Kirk did not deserve to die. It was a brutal way to die. It was a fucking horrible way to die. On top of that, done very publicly. The man's got 2 small children and a wife, and they saw it. You can imagine being a child, a small child, and watching your father, get shot like that, and how graphic that was? Yeah. The man didn't deserve to die. Whether you like him or not, it doesn't matter anybody, whether you like him or not. There's nobody here that deserves to die, you know? 10 minutes and 10 cigarettes. No, we're not up to Megan, we're not doing 10, we're not doing a cigarette a minute, are you kidding? Israel hired NATO to do October 7th? I don't think so. I don't think so. If I was a conspiracy theorist, looking at this Charlie Kirk thing, believe me, I'd be jumping all over this. I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any means. But I'd be jumping all over this just in the timing of this and what's going on in America right now. I'm Canadian. I'm not American, but I do follow. I follow whatever happens in America. Usually, the trickle down effect. It affects us in Canada here, especially economy wise. But yeah, it's the timing is bad, and I think the aftermath of what's going to happen here with Charlie Kirk getting shot, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good at all. I'm grateful, Shell Pemberton. I'm grateful I've never been an addict. Still, I respect those who fight the addiction and are recovering. Thank you. I don't suggest it for anybody. I was a cocaine addict and a crack addict and an alcoholic, right? And so I hit the triple crown. But I've been clean and sober, so that means I've been drug and alcohol free since March 21st of 1993. So that's over half my life. I'm 55 years old and I've been clean and sober for 32 years. Um, and believe me, I wouldn't have what I have in my life today if I hadn't stopped or I hadn't gone into recovery. But it is nice to hear people that don't have that affliction when they say, you know what, it's good to hear about people recovering. I appreciate that. Thank you. Andrea and I are going. Andrea and I are going to Free Palestine rally in New York soon, right, Andrea? The 7th of October. Let me tell you something here. Any rally that any of the big rallies that you go to, especially if you're going to go to one in New York City, it's going to probably be big. Now, I don't know nothing about this rally. I've not heard if there's going to be one or not, but be prepared. Be prepared. That's all I'm going to say. This chat is full of nonsense and trolls. Where are your mods? My mods are here. They're tapping away. Most of the bots that are in here, let them run. Let them run. It's not a big deal for me. Um, I look at it in a sense of this that anybody I go through the questions here. So anybody that's got a worthwhile question, I'm going to hit on and probably make a comment on. But any of the bots that are just in here doing their thing, either Camille will take care of it, or Crag Rat will take care of it, or I just skip over it and leave it alone. Because you know what? Even when a bot hits your stream, it still counts as a view. So I'll take the free view. If they want to throw bots into my chat, I'll take the free view. Thank you very much. Always love some good early morning bullshitting, mate. Jason, so do I. So do I. Love from Australia. Jason, where in Australia you from? Where are you from in Australia? I only asked because I've got a daughter in Melbourne that lives in Melbourne. Please, no political and racist slogans. There you go. That's all we ask. The Empress. Ta-da! She's arrived. Good morning. Hello, darling. Well, good morning, darling. I'm hoping you're well this morning, Empress. Are you feeling good? Are you feeling feisty? Want to go? Want to go? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Empress came in a couple of days ago. She introduced herself to our chat to what, 3 days ago or something like that. She came in with a bang. Just came in with a bang, stirred up a great big pile of shit, and it was actually really pretty good in the beginning. She stirred up a really good pile of shit and had a good shit storm going in the chat. It was pretty good. It got a little carried away near the end though. So the Empress is hopefully going to be on her better behavior this morning. Humanity has lost its path. When I picked up Victoria from work yesterday, and we were just briefly talking in the car ride home about Charlie Kirk thing and other things going on in the world, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me? The world right now, the United States and Canada right now is an unflushed toilet, is what it really is. If you look around, because I think there was Charlie Kirk was shot yesterday, and then 2 hours later or 3 hours later, there was a school shooting. Are you fucking kidding me? On top of that, Charlie Kirk was shot in fucking Utah, like Utah, out of nowhere, right? One of the politest states in the United States, and that's where they shot him. So it is an unflushed toilet right now. And the first thing Victoria said to me when we were talking, when I said that to her, she goes, could you imagine trying to raise children? Like, I don't know how a lot of people in the US are doing this. You guys with kids and small kids, and you get up in the morning, you put your kids on the school bus, and you give your kids a kiss goodbye, and off they go to school, and then they come back at the end of the day. Um, I don't know how you guys fucking do this without losing your mind, right? Like, I know a lot of yous go, well, you got to trust in God, and you got to trust in it, but you know what? I I don't know. I don't know how you fucking do it, be honest with you. Because it doesn't matter. It's not just one select area. It's not like it's Florida or it's New York. It's anywhere. There's school shootings in just about every goddamn state. Charlie Kirk got his fucking almost got his head blown off. Well, he pretty much did, but in Utah. So think about that. Like I don't think I would want to. Now, luckily for me, my children have all grown up and they've left home, and all my kids are out in the world living their lives, and they're all doing their own thing. So it's not something I have to think about, and it's never something I ever had to think about. Right? I've got six daughters, and never at any one point in time did I ever have to sit there and think. Am I putting my child on this school bus? Is this the last time I'm gonna see my kid alive? Like, what a horrible fucking way to think, or have to think, or even live. What a horrible way to fucking have to live, to sit there and think, "Oh my god, this might be the last time I see my kid. Okay, get on the bus, kid, and we'll see you tonight." Ah, flatbed trucker, good to see you, brother. I'm a I'm dressed for a little cool. It's only about 10 degrees, 10, 11 degrees out here, Celsius. Not Fahrenheit, obviously. Otherwise, we'd be, deep frozen here. But the only thing that's a little chilly this morning is the fingertips. I'm almost tempted. I'm almost tempted to grab the camera, run upstairs, and take my cold hands and put them on Victoria, and you guys can listen to her scream. But um, it's not usually wise to do that to a woman that's not quite awake yet. It's a good way to get dead or unalive. 7th of October. Everyone here support Free Palestine. Wow, I'm amazed by you guys. I don't have a say on that. I don't have an opinion on that. Free Palestine. If you're Palestinian and you're living in Canada, that's fine. But I don't have a say in that. I don't endorse supporting any other countries right now. As a Canadian, I don't endorse. And here's the simple fact and simple reason why. And I don't want you to think I'm an asshole and I ever want anything bad to happen to people in the world. And I don't. I truly don't. But right now, the state of my own country is a toilet. And yet our government and our people are sending over billions of dollars to other countries for aid and this and that. When meanwhile, the amount of money that we have sent in aid over to other countries, if we'd have used that money in-house, right, for our own country, we could have fed and housed every homeless person. We could have taken care of every single military veteran that needs medical or housing or job assistance or anything like that. We could have cleaned up our own country, had no unemployment, no homelessness. The veterans would be fed, the seniors would be taken care of. All of those things that are vitally important to our own country could have easily been taken care of, and there would have been money left over for then we could take it and give some money to help somebody else. But our government has sent money out and has left its own country in ruin. That's what I talk about when I say, oh, I don't support sending money or support to other countries. Once my own country is decided to take care of itself and clean itself up and take care of its own people and its own population, whatever money's left over, you know what? I will happily write the check myself and send it over to whatever country that we're supporting at that time. I seem to be a level-headed person. Are you a centrist? No, you know what? I'm just a guy. That's all I am. I'm just a guy that sits here that like I said, I've got six daughters. I've raised my family. My kids are out in the world. They've all got, I worked for, or I drove truck. I'm retired from trucking. I drove truck for 35 plus years. I I gave my time. I've raised my children. I've raised my family. They've all went through high school. All my kids got post-secondary college or university educations, and they're now out in the world living their life. So I've done my job, and it's time for me now and my woman now to enjoy a little relaxation time. Now, Victoria still works, and that's fine. But luckily for me, she works at a job that affords her large, a week at a time off. She works for a week, then she's off for a week. She works for a week. So when she's off for a week, we're free to do whatever we want. And for the next upcoming week, we're packing the car and we're fucking off up to the mountains, and we're gonna go see one of my daughters and my granddaughter, and we're gonna go hang out and do that for 4 days, and then we're gonna go to Edmonton and hang out with one of my other daughters for a couple of days. And you know what? I'm afforded to be able to do that because you know what? I worked like a goddamn dog for 35 years and killed myself. So, right, I'm back. Didn't even know you laughed from my travels. Now let modding duties commence. There we go. Thanks, brother. Canadians, what are your thought on immigration? R117. I have no problem with immigration in Canada if the immigration policies that are in place are used correctly. And the problem that we have is that they're not, right? Our 117, it doesn't matter what country you're in, Canada or the US, you need immigrants. Now everybody's going, "Oh, fuck that. Oh, fuck that." No, and you do. You need immigrants because your country's economy grows faster than its population. Okay. And that's just a fact. There's nothing you can do about that. People say, oh, well, we're in a recession. The economy's not growing, or we're in this. The economy is still growing. The economy is still working. Okay. And the economy in the country grows at a rate faster than the people populate. So what happens is the immigration policies were put in place way back when to bring in a specific number of people per year to make up to fill the gap in the excess of work labor, right? You need people to work to keep the country driving. So you let the immigrants come in, they pick up, the slack. But what's happened is our policies, and those are what the policies were put in place for. The problem is that the policies that are in place are just being they're going right around them and rerouting them, and they're just abusing them. The government is using the immigration policies for their own agenda, and that is a problem for me. If it was being used properly for what it's supposed to be there for, 117, I got no problem with Canadian immigration. But because of the way it is now, the way it's being used, I really do not agree with it. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't support it. I don't. First of all, I don't support the Canadian government right now. I don't. I'll openly say that. Okay, our liberal government, uh, Prime Minister Carney, who is nothing but another Trudeau, another Justin Trudeau. Um, you know, whatever. Look around the state of our country, man. You know what I'm talking about. There aren't any boys in here. I hope not. Corey Hanks. It would probably be more sanitary if you were to wear rubber gloves when you poop in your hands and drop it. Why are you pooping in your hands to start with? Morning from Lake Elsinore. Did I say that right? Sorry, I probably fucked that up. Good morning from Lake Elsinore. Oh, good morning. Yeah, bots are running wild in here this morning. It's not bad. Not bad. Cragrat's got his hands full. Goat shit it's a goat shit. It's anything. Okay, Cragrat, don't know what you're talking about. What are your thoughts about the Charlie Kirk shooting? I just gave you my thoughts 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. So if you missed it, sorry, you have to go back and watch the replay. All I'm going to say is whether you like the man or whether you didn't like the man or whether you respected him or you didn't respect him, whatever, he didn't deserve to die, regardless of his thoughts, regardless of his way of thinking or his way of life or his political affiliation. He did not deserve to die. Nobody deserves to die for that. You know, nobody deserves to die, and he certainly didn't deserve to die for that. Saif, free live stream. We can say whatever you want. Just be respectful to everybody else in your chat here. Be respectful to everybody else in the chat, and we'll talk about what you want to talk about. But we did a lot of politics yesterday, and I just don't tap on religion. I do not dabble on religion. All I simply say about religion, and I'll cover this whole subject right now, so we don't have to talk about it ever again. Is very simply that it doesn't matter to me what your religion is. I don't care. I really, truly don't care. Whatever your religion is, your color, your creed, your gender, I don't care. I will respect anything that you are, say you are, or your religion. I will respect anything. All I ask in return is that you respect mine. Simple. There. That's my take on religion. Has your daughter ever met Girthmaster in Australia? He's very popular over there. I don't know. I've never heard of Girthmaster, so I wouldn't know to ask her. Kimball, that was gross. Yeah, that was pretty gross. Like I said, there's certain things I wish I could unsee. I didn't need to really see that. I saw it, but I wish I could I wish I could unsee it. Let me say, my grandkids will be homeschooled. You know what? It would not surprise me right now that in the state of the United States, not the state, not the state is in place, but whatever. The state meaning condition, the condition, it was the condition of the United States. It would not surprise me right now that if fucking half the population wasn't ripping their kids out of schools and doing the exact same thing, 420 somewhere, it would not surprise me in the least. And I'd be honest with you, you know what? If I had small kids, luckily for me, I don't. I'm 55 I'm not into changing diapers, but that's something I would seriously have to think about. I will fucking homeschool my kid before I'll stick him on the bus and have that thought. The minute I had that thought in my head, is this the last time I'm going to see my kids? I'd be yanking them off that bus and they wouldn't be going to school. Jazzy J, there you go. My sister homeschools. I don't blame anybody doing it. I'm done. Nothing here. Well, CM, sit back and see if there's something comes up eventually that'll tickle your fancy, and and then you can say whatever you want to say. Patrick, good morning, man. Good to see you, brother. Hopefully you're doing well this morning. Yeah. What time is it out there in America? Well, I'm not in America. I'm in Canada. And right now it's 6:23 in the morning. Uh, I'm out in Alberta. And if you are an American and you don't know where Alberta is, my province borders with the state of Montana. So that's where I am. Do you know 10 degrees is cold as fuck, right? 10 degrees Celsius is not cold as fuck. 10 degrees Fahrenheit would be below freezing, but 10 degrees Celsius is not. And you're right, Canadians we're built differently anyway. You know, at 10 degrees, I'm wearing a hoodie and I've got a pair of sweats on and my running shoes, and I'm comfortable. But mind you, I'm 55, so I've gone through 55 Canadian winters. Right? Actually, no, I've gone through 54 Canadian no, I'm 55. I've gone through 55 Canadian winters. This upcoming winter, I'll be turning 56. So, yeah, I've lived through 55 Canadian winters. So, yeah, the cold doesn't affect me or say a lot of other Canadians the way it does say somebody from Florida or Texas or Mexico or any place like that. Wait a minute. That country guy, I can't remember his name. Ooh, no, I'm no country guy. We don't do country music singers over here. You wonder if our weed is bomb out here? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Like I said, I stopped smoking dope and doing drugs over 30 years ago. I'm a recovered drug addict. So, but if you really want to know, you can simply ask any one of my kids. I think for the most part, I think at least 4 out of the 6 of them are avid pot smokers. I'll let them tell you if it's any good or not. All I can say is I know that the weed that you guys are smoking today is not the same type of shit that we were smoking way back then. Um, Today you can get multiple flavors, you can get multiple things. The weed does multiple things. You've got sleepy time weed, you got wakey time weed, you've got every type of weed. You got weed for anxiety, you got weed for depression, you got weed. The day is going to come where you're going to be able to smoke a joint and it's going to grow your dick 2 inches. It's coming. Back when I was smoking weed, we had weed. And it was either good weed or it was skunk weed, right? There was one or the other. There was no in between. It was either really good weed or it was bad weed. Nowadays, from what I understand, the weed that you guys are smoking today is pretty fucking good. It's pretty good. There's my girl. No, you can't see her. She's coming out to share coffee and wanna smoke. So yeah, the shit that you guys are smoking today is, and I'm not about to try it out. I'm not about to take that chance. Buck Brown, good to see you, brother. Guess which genius locked himself out of his truck this morning? Guess which genius has done that 3 times in the last year? Now, I haven't done it like recently because obviously my truck is gone, but um, 3 times, Buck, 3 times, twice in one week, twice in one week, locked myself out of my fucking truck. So do not feel bad. It got to the point by the time I locked it out the third time I went to Canadian Tire and bought the kit so I could break into my own truck because they were charging me $250 every time to come in and get into the goddamn truck. So that, and I also put a spare key on the engine, right? Just tied a piece of fine wire, put a piece of fine wire through one of the extra keys, and just twist tied it onto somewhere under the hood. So maybe you might want to think about that, Buck, before you lock yourself out for the other 2 times. Buck, where are you this morning, brother? You all right? You doing okay? Things going good for you? Do I live off Victoria? No, I don't live off Victoria. I have I Why do people think because that I don't actively go to work that I live off of you? I don't live off Victoria. Buck, I did that once and had to climb on the roof. Happy dude. What does her do from home? Um, Victoria doesn't work from home. Victoria has a job. She goes to work. She just happens to have the type of job where she works for a week straight, and then she has a week off, and then she goes back in and works another week, and then she gets a week off. But in her week, she has to work a 70-hour week, right? So she works 70 hours in 7 days, and then she has 7 days off. So it's eight- 88, sorry, 88 hours. She works 88 hours in a week. And then but she works a full 7 days, and then she has 7 days off. So that's why today's actually her first day off. So she finished her hitch yesterday, and usually her first day her first day home, where she doesn't have to go to work, is usually she's a bit of a basket case because she's just worked 88 hours and her brains are fucking scrambled, especially doing her job. And usually I kind of leave her alone on the first day and don't. But today because we're going away for the next week, we're going to be going away. Unfortunately, we've got shit we got to do today. So don't do crack, hillbilly. Well, guess what? This hillbilly doesn't do crack. Hey, Riverruns, you don't think it's true? Well, what happens when you finish working? Riverruns, when you work your career and you work your life, and you've worked all your life, eventually you come to a point and you do what? Come on, I'm giving it to you here. You fucking retire. You retire. I retired from trucking. I did it all my life. That's pretty much the only thing I ever did my entire life was trucking. And I retired from trucking. So why would it be a shame why would anybody think that I'm living off or mooching or anything like that? I'm fucking retired, man. Are you going to retire with $5 in your bank account? Come on. Most people from home, work from home. People I don't know have hours to be on lives. No, I don't work from home. I do a little dibble dabbling once in a while, because I have my hands in some other stuff. But do I actively work from home? No, no. Imagine being a Statesian. I don't even know what that is. Hi from Yorkshire, England. Suzanne Lee, welcome in from Yorkshire, England. Frag Rat, right? Two comments below you there, Suzanne. He's from England as well. I won't hold that against you guys. That was amusing. Yeah, that was. Well, you know what? That's just the way it is. You know, that's just the way it is. Good to see you, Noah. What's going on? So is trucking. Hey, long time no see, brother. How the hell are you? Um, Cheers to you, friend. I haven't seen you in a long time. Hopefully, you're doing all right. You've been safe. Volley fire, in my opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, SST has entered the building. Six Emperor Tyrannus. Tyrannus has been running around my chat for several years now, and I love him. He's he's a very opinionated, twisted, sick fucking guy, and I absolutely love him. Absolutely love him. When Tyrannus, and it's not just my chat. When I see Tyrannus in other people's chats, because we kind of follow some of the same people. You never know what you're going to get when Tyrannus is in the chat, and you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. Um, he's one of those people I don't think that engages actively in his filter. Am I that far behind? Yeah. His filter doesn't engage like most people's does. Like he has a thought, and before the thought gets filtered and processed, it goes out his fingers and he taps it out under the screen. And then he might sit back afterwards and go, did I just say that? No, he didn't deserve to die. You're right. I'm currently loading in Cincinnati. Do you think I can make it to Alabama by this evening? Cincinnati to Alabama by this evening? Um, if as long as you get out of Cincinnati before the traffic hits, dude. I hate going through Cincinnati. How old is too old to have another child? That's a good question. I don't know, but it ain't going to be me. This cowboy ain't having any more kids. Forget it. I couldn't have them if I wanted to. You know, after the last daughter was born, snip, it was done. Now it's kind of nice because it's fire at will, commander. I don't have to worry about that kind of thing. What are your pronouns? I don't have pronouns. Uh, did you have the same energy you have here for them politicians that got killed a few months ago? Um, I don't know what you're talking about, the politicians that got killed, and did I have the same energy? I don't have this. I don't have energy when it comes to anybody dying. If anybody, it doesn't matter who it is, whether you're a famous politician or a famous person or a spokesman or a fucking athlete, or even if you're not famous, it just you in general. Anybody. I don't believe that anybody deserves to die for their political affiliations, their religious affiliations, their thoughts. It's just ridiculous. Uh, Charlie's stance on women was atrocious. It doesn't matter. Happy dude, maybe it was, but he didn't deserve to die for it. Nobody deserves to die for it. The only one that deserves to, there are some people and figures in our past, our life, in the world's, in our history that have deserved to die. Hitler deserved to die. S- Uh, Bin Laden had what was coming to him. We're talking about people that have done mass murder, mass, swayed huge populations into people into thinking sick thoughts. Those type of people, like if someone when they took out Bin Laden, you wouldn't see me on here going, "Well, the man didn't deserve to die. He deserved to die. He had what coming to him." But what Charlie Kirk standing on a podium saying what he's saying, regardless whether you agree with it, I agree with it, or whether I don't or you don't, the man didn't deserve to die for it. A lot of bots. So I'm just going to quickly run. Religion equals biker. There you go. Religion equals biker. I'm all on board. Chicago winners, 420 something. I've been through Chicago 100,000 times. It was one of the U.S. cities that, being based out of Toronto for most of my career, Chicago was one of those places that I did a lot of. It's not a place for rookie drivers. Usually, they would send in the veterans going into Chicago. Or New York, like if you had to go into New York City, they wouldn't send a newer driver into New York City. But Chicago winters are absolutely brutal because you're sitting right. It's like Toronto. You're sitting right on a lake, a body of water, right? So you've not only got the cold, you've got the wind. There's nothing around you to block it, but you've got the lake effect. And Chicago is absolutely brutal for that. If you live in Missouri, you're built different because you got the change in temperature so fast and it's never the same. That's Alberta. That's what we have here. Like right now, it's the middle of September and it's been known to snow. Right? We could have snow. I could have woke up this morning to 3 or 4 inches of snow, and then by noon, I'd be out here in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. It sways so fast out here. Really, it does. Okay, I'm behind. My truck don't lock, so I don't got that problem. Tell me where your truck is. I'll be happy to take care of that. You'll be locking it after I'm done with it. That's just in the spare key. It wasn't where I put it under the hood. I went bye-bye on its own sometime. Well, I had that actually happen too because I used a thin wire, not a coat hanger, thinner than a coat hanger, and hung the key in the engine block. And it was under there for about a year. The fucking wire rusted and snapped, and the key was on the key buggered off on me somewhere. So I had to do it again. Rolling 18. Jim, good to see you this morning, brother. I did not get a notification if you're live. You're probably going to go live shortly here anytime. Guys, go check out Rollin 18. He's doing what I wish I could be doing. He's a long haul trucker, does flatbed work, got some really interesting shit. But he turns his camera on and he drives, and you follow him all day long while he's driving, and he's talking to you and really good stream. Love what Rollin 18 is doing. His channel used to be called Trucker Zeus. Crag Rat saying good morning to my girl. She's giving you a little wave. She's giving you the British wave. Is that how you do it? Yeah, the British wave. She's giving you the British wave. Don't work yourself to death for nothing. Well, like Gunner, if you're gonna work yourself to death, you might as well get something out of it, right? Okay, sorry guys. I know you guys got a lot of freaking comments here, but I'm way behind. So, Brian, this generation doesn't understand working two jobs from the age of 16, working 16, 18 hours a day, 80 hours a week, and then retiring. I agree. I do. I agree with that. We were talking briefly about this yesterday that, there's unfortunately people are complaining are the kids these days. And I say kids, and kids to me would be like, 30 to 20 or, the 20 to 30 age demographic that they would sit there and complain that there's no jobs, and then they'd sit on their couch and complain that there's no jobs, but there are jobs out there. They're just not willing to do them because they think it's beneath them. Whereas in my day when I was of that age, well, I was trucking, but if I wasn't, um, you know, my generation, you would take the $15 an hour job now, at least to have money coming in. You might hate the job and hate everything you're doing and hate every minute of it, but at least you're working. And what happens is they don't wanna work, and then they'll complain, but I would take the job, go to work, and while I'm working, well, then I would turn around and go, "Okay, I'll find myself something else to work. I'll find the job that I want to get myself to that level of where I wanna live." That's what I would be doing, but they don't do that today, and it's unfortunate. Shannon Thomas Trucking, what'd we do? We got you here two mornings in a row, sweetheart. How did we do that? Richmond, Virginia. I l Shannon, enjoy that drive. If you're in Richmond or going in and out of Richmond, or I love that whole part of the country, the United States. That is probably for driving truck, my favorite part of the highway, or my favorite part of the country. When you're coming, especially when you're coming out of Canada, right? So you come down out of Canada, and you're coming down. For us, it's either most of the time I was coming down 81 out of New York, out of Canada into New York, and you're 81 all the way down. Then you come into Maine, then you got West Virginia, you got Virginia, and that whole stretch going over Fancy Gap. Let me tell you something. That is some of the most beautiful. I was like a tourist. I've been over the top of those mountains and down through that part of the country 100,000 times, and every single time I'm still a tourist, just looking out my windows. It's like I'm like a fish in a fishbowl looking out at the world. It's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Mark Wilkin Day. Mark, how the fuck are you, brother? You were here yesterday. Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing all right, man. Good morning from Arizona. You and Stacy I think you guys are in the same time zone as me. Mark, I'm 6:41 in the morning here. I think Arizona's same time zone as I am. Or you might actually be an hour behind me. Um, Hopefully you got your coffee. We got our coffee. Hopefully you got your smoke. And hopefully you're getting your eyes open. 2 4 is in the door. Everybody hang on to your children and dogs. 2 4's here. And your beer. Hang on to your beer. Don't glorify this man. No, happy dude. Exactly. Don't glorify me. I'm not out here looking for anybody's gratitude or anybody's approval or anybody's. I'm not even out here looking for your love. You know, I'm just out here in my backyard smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee, shooting the shit. I'm not out here to educate you. I'm not out here to fucking guide you. I'm just out here to talk. That's all I'm here to do. Do I support Palestine? No. I'm just quickly going through. There's a lot of bots here. Gunrunner, Joe's right. Unless you are sending millions, our thoughts mean nothing. There you go. It's funny that somebody's thought will be pushed a lot farther through the world when it's got some big money backing it up, right? Some poor guy sitting there with some good thoughts and good ideas. Those thoughts and ideas will never make it to fruition, right? Because there's no money backing it up. You put money behind anything and people will listen and watch it. Pink Kitten, nice name. That's a hell of a handle there. Nomadic Brit, good to see you this morning. Good to see you this morning. Good to see you over there in James last night, James Best last night. it was kind of funny watching James. I haven't, I watch him. He doesn't go live very often anymore, but his last couple of lives have been pretty good. But last night was that we were subject to a pretty good James Best rant, and I love it. Absolutely love it. It reminded me. I don't know, Britt, if well, I know that you were there back in the day with me watching James when he was getting into those drunken rants, and he let one go last night that was pretty fucking funny. It was pretty good. Uh, I don't know. I don't wanna encourage it because it's alcohol fueled, but, I don't know about you, Britt, but I enjoyed it, and it took me back to the old days of watching James, it really was. And even the old days when we were doing those lives, and Britt, you were there with me when I was doing those lives, and we were doing them 8, 10, 12 hours, and we'd drop the link, and we'd have people in there, and the funny, stupid, funny bullshit that used to happen. It was pretty good. So it was kinda good to watch James last night. I got a really good chuckle. I had a really good chuckle. If you can't get a job or find one, create one yourself. I was self-employed for 20, almost 26, just over 25 years of my career. I was self-employed. Brody is correct, but billionaire owners don't care. It's true. It's one of those things. The more money you have, once you reach, not even millionaire status these days, because you can stand on the roof of my house and throw a rock in any direction, hit a millionaire nowadays. But when you get billionaire status, your give a fuck factor becomes zero. So I'm in Richmond. It is beautiful drive always, but the traffic. Well, you can go around Richmond if you absolutely have to, but I don't. I usually just grin and bear it. Overtime trucking. Arizona has no daylight savings. I didn't think of that. You're right. They don't. No, Arizona doesn't have daylight savings. Woke up at 3:30 here, crashed at 8:30ish last night. That's what happens to me. Gun runner, you're up north of me here, so you're in the same time zone as me. I'm the same way. I have a problem that I have bad back, right? So I can't lay in bed for more than say 6, 7 hours at max. So if I go to bed at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever, I'm up by 5 o'clock or even before, between 4:30 and 5 every day, I'm out of bed. Victoria, when she's working, has her alarm set for 4:45, and I'm usually up before that alarm goes off. So, and that's because just I can't lay in bed any longer. So yeah, usually by about 2 in the afternoon, I'm starting to fade, right? I need my nap. I'm old, right? I need my nap. Take 7, try harder. I'm in Utah, same time zone. There you go, brother. My my 18-year-old makes $3 an hour as a server, but brings home anywhere from 60 to 200 bucks a night. She's going to high school and college at the same time with a 4.0 GPA and don't want her to hear adults. I don't want her to hear adults complain. Ash, keep that kid on the rails. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Keep that kid on the rails. Why did you hit Charlie? Oh, I never touched Charlie. Only smoke cigarettes and strictly shag. Yeah, $3 an hour is where is that? I'm not sure what the servers make. I know that servers are in a different wage bracket. They don't fall into the minimum wage thing. They make much less than minimum wage because they make tips. But $3 an hour does seem low. Michael, I have vlogs come to Alaska. Oh, we had this chat yesterday. I got myself into a little bit of hot water, so I'm not about to come. Well, we're not commenting on Alaska. Let's just say, he's giggling. I would like to go to Alaska. I would love to go to Alaska. But that's all I'm going to say. Do I support AC/DC? Yes. Neural, I have supported AC/DC, since 1978. They have, and I've financially supported them. They have taken my money on many occasions because I have seen them in concert multiple times, and I've got their hoodies, I've got their T-shirts. AC/DC is in my top 5 of bands that I absolutely love. Charlie Kirk lived in his vengeance will come. I don't, well, if it does, I don't want to be in the way of that vengeance. He was getting tuned up. Yeah. You're talking about best? Yeah, he was pretty tuned up yesterday. It was pretty good. I don't know too for if you were around back, you know, 4 or 5 years ago when James had some world class lives going, you know. He had a nice crowd in there and he would just and somebody he'd get into about the 15th beer and then somebody would trigger him and fuck look out. Just look out. You know, the spew of rage that would come out of that man was it was on a comical level. You couldn't even sit there and go, "Oh my God," because you'd be too busy fucking laughing. I feel like, you were a bi if you were a billionaire, you are basically a god, can do anything you like. Well, you know, pretty much, because you can buy your way and circumvent your way around just the system and anything you wanna do. Mark, Blake, have I heard about the 3-eye comet? I have not heard about the 3-eye comet. Please just tell me it's not gonna hit this week because, you know, if a comet's gonna hit the Earth and wipe it out, I don't want it to be this week because I'm going on vacation, so wait till I get home and then wipe us out. I'm a $0. You are? Puffwa. Is that your name, Puffwa? Hell of a handle. And I hit my I don't give a fuck already. There you go. You know, and I'm the same way. 0 fuck given. You're on your way to Shaky Town. Attaboy. Attaboy. Well, you keep your shit wired tight and keep your head straight, brother. And hopefully you get out the same condition you went in. Charlie Cook Charlie Kirk got headshotted. No, actually, it went through his neck, and it was very gruesome. It was absolutely fucking brutal. Again, I'll say it one last time. I really, really wish I'd never seen what I saw. I wish I could unsee that. 5.5 to 6.5 hours, and I'm up. Yeah, yeah, same thing. You know, my back is killing me. I'm old. Now we did order a new mattress. We went and bought a new mattress. We went gun runner. We went into Calgary and we checked a few out, and then we ended up at Sleep Country, and we laid down like I feel bad for the sales guys at these places because there's people like me and Victoria. We go in and we literally get in every single bed and we lay in it and we bounce around and we move and then we switch all the pillows off all the different beds and put them on and like this poor bastard, you know. He was dealing with other customers because he was the only guy in the store, but Victoria and I were bouncing around on the beds and clowning and but we picked out so we've got a new mattress coming, and we are both looking forward to it, let me tell you. "Hey, Brian, my channel got a new sub last night. Who do you suppose that was?" Oh, I know who that was. I knew who that was. I'm telling you right now, anybody if you're associated with me and you lip off at him, he's gonna come for you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There's no power behind it. There's no power behind it, too far. I wouldn't worry about it one bit. The best thing you can do is just don't engage, right? Don't engage. Let him say what he wants to say, spew what he wants to spew, and then don't engage, right? Don't engage. Don't give him anything. It's like he's got the gun and he's got 6 bullets in it. Once he shot off the last round and you haven't given him anything else, he's out of ammunition. Just leave him alone. Don't bother with it. By the way, you're way behind in the comments. Not anymore. I'm not. I just went flick and went right to the end here because like there's a lot of bots and there's a lot of comments and I'm just not gonna ever break the bed frame. Not give you and I wore it out. Broke the legs off, metal frame. I've you know what? I can't say that I've never busted a bed frame. I've snapped a headboard, but never a bed frame. I make Victoria wear a helmet, so she doesn't get that way she doesn't get that way she doesn't get injured. Right? I know she's ready for sexy time when I come in the bedroom and she's got her helmet on. And she looks hot in her little pink helmet, let me tell her purple she wears a little purple helmet, little purple hockey helmet. She looks hot, let me tell you. Until you've had your woman put on her hockey helmet, Let me tell you, boys, there's nothing hotter than a naked woman with a hockey helmet on. Got it as a gift, broke it within 2 to 3 months. Well, let me tell you something, Gunray, you're not supposed to drive your woman into the mattress. You're right, you're not you're not supposed to pound her so hard that you're snapping bed frames or bed legs. Sounded like a 22. I don't know, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't know the caliber of round that hit him. I didn't look into it. I saw what I saw. I made a couple of comments to some people and talked about it, and then I it's one of those things I don't dwell on. I have my own thoughts about it, but, no. No, I'm not about to I don't care what round it was, what kind of round it was. It killed him. I had a guy pull a gun on me in Alberta. I've not yet ever had a gun pulled on me in Alberta. Um, I've, let's say I'm from Ontario and I'm from Toronto, so I've had, gunplay I've been involved with gunplay in Toronto, had, you know, weapons pulled and aimed at me that way in Toronto, but never in Ontario, but never Alberta. Will John and I stay together? Yes. I need to date a Canadian chick. Jeffrey Clark, let me tell you, there is nothing better than a Canadian woman. I'm telling you honestly. Okay. Canadian women are, first of all, they're beautiful. Second of all, they're smart as fuck. Okay. Most Canadian women, for the most part, are educated. So they're beautiful, they're smart, they're uh, self-sustaining. They can take care of themselves. They don't need a man. So if you've got a Canadian woman and you're in her life, it's because she wants you there, because not because she needs you there. Canadian women are a different breed. They really are. Good morning, Greg Atchison. Good to see you, brother. There's another long-standing member of our channel. Greg's been with us for years now. My channel celebrated yesterday 4 years. It was yesterday. Not because I looked it up, but it's because I got notification from YouTube doing the congratulations, blah blah blah. But and I think Greg's been with us, like Tyke Truck and Has, and a few others. I think Greg's been with us pretty much from the beginning. Like I never cared about the guy, but dude was a dad. Nathan, exactly. You know, he was a father of two. He was a husband. He was somebody's son. You know, um, nobody deserves to die like that. I only care because 22 sounds like two sandals smacking. Um, I didn't think the sound quality. Well, I heard the gun. Obviously, you heard the gunshot, but I didn't think the sound was enough to determine what it was. Maybe your ear is better than mine, Nathan. It might have been. It might be. I don't know. Wasn't lack. I'm not even gonna say that. Lack la niche. Holy Christ, son. Hey, is that what it is? Okay. From Toronto, Nathan Rodriguez, from Toronto. It's fucked here. Well, I was born in Toronto, raised Toronto, and lived there pretty much all my life. I had a quick stint in my early 20s where I lived out here, but then went back there, and now I'm back here again. So I've only been here, I don't say only, but I've been here for about 6 months now. And let me tell you something, Nathan, I don't miss Toronto. I don't miss Ontario. I don't miss the eastern part of the country. The only thing I miss is once you get past Quebec, right? Once you get past Quebec and you get into New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, I miss that part of the country. But no, man. Usually some attitude too. Younger ones. Well, that's the problem. I guarantee you, gun runner, you didn't have somebody my age pull a gun on you. Stacy has a pink Ruger 38. It packs a punch. Oh, well, Mark, I was talking about this yesterday, and to the to the disagreement of some people in my life that don't agree with it. But if I was allowed in Canada up here, and Mark, you know the rules up here because you're Canadian, even though you live in Arizona. Um, if I was allowed to carry and conceal up here, I would. I believe in that. I would be packing. I would be carrying at all times. Um, Mind you, I wouldn't be messing around with Stacy's pink Ruger. Car wash guy, Ryan, good to see you, man. How the fuck are you, brother? You got up early this morning, Ryan. S- you must have woke up and needed a cold drink. My cousin lives in Toronto. I have two of my daughters still live down there. No, they don't live in Toronto. One of them lives in Kingston and one of them lives in Hamilton, which Hamilton is like the absolute fucking armpit of Canada. It's the dumpster fire of Canada. It really is. Hamilton is. But she lives in a decent part of town at least. Um, so I've got to at least they don't live in the GTA. Hamilton is still far enough out, right? It's beyond Mississauga, right? Mississauga is not considered the GTA, but it's pretty much the border, right? Once you come out of Toronto, and then you've got Etobicoke, and then you've got I think it's Mississauga. Mississauga is the borderline for the GTA, and a lot of people still consider Mississauga part of the GTA, but it's really not. But once you get beyond Mississauga, right, you get Mississauga, then you get Oakville, then you get Burlington, then you get Hamilton. So there's three cities in between, or four cities in between Toronto and Hamilton. So she's far enough out that even though it is a dumpster fire, the world needs more empathy. It does. No, what the world needs, Gunrunner, is more common sense. People with more common sense, empathy and common sense. Okay, I wish I could show you this, guys. The birds are chirping up in the tree there, and Victoria's about to go in and get my salt gun and start shooting the fucking birds. We both wear here. I got earbuds in right now, but usually I wear hearing aids. I have hearing aids, and when you wear hearing aids and you hear birds chirping, most people go, "Oh, it's a beautiful sound. It sounds great." It does not. It does not sound when you've got 3 or 4 birds sitting fucking 15 feet or 20 feet away from you and they're chirping, all you wanna do is like, "Shut up." She was just about to come out of her fucking chair and go over and shake the tree. Lots of trolls and pricks these days. It doesn't matter where you go. Ian and I know a few Scouse women, and their account is great. Leave it to Brit to find a woman. Free Palestine. Okay. Quinn Taylor, good to see you, brother. Always good to see you. Richie from Wisconsin. You like that? Richie from Richie from Wisconsin. What's up, buddy? Oh, Reggie Erickson. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here. Uh, Early my ass. My morning started at 10 last night, going to at least one today, then back out for another all-nighter. You know what? It costs to be the boss, Ryan. You know as well as I do. You own a couple of car washes. You're the boss. It costs to be the boss, and it's not always money. It's not always the cost of money. It can be the cost of your time. It can be the cost of your sleep. It can be the cost of your energy. It costs to be you want to be the big boss, man. You got to put in the hours, and and I speak from experience, dude. For 25 years, I was self-employed, and I know that it costs. There are things that I did as an owner operator to get the job done that a company driver wouldn't do. Why? Because I owned it. I owned the company. Those are my trucks. Those are my drivers. That's me in my own truck. And you go to the extra length. Why? Because you're the boss. Empathy isn't woke if you knew which situation needs it. I don't think empathy is woke in any situation. Do you work out, wheel burner? I do not. I do not. You want to see my workout this morning? Here, I'm lifting my coffee cup to my mouth. That's about as much working out as I do. It's been about 15 years since I've seen the inside of a gym. I used to. I wouldn't say work out religiously, but I would be in the gym probably 3 times a week. And I enjoyed it. I did do it, but it's just not. I gradually came off of that, and it's hard to do as an over the road truck driver. It really is, depending on which part of the country or where you are. I had a membership with Anytime Fitness, which was lucky for me because in Canada they're all over the goddamn place, and they're all over the place in the U.S. And if I have a membership in Canada, it's good in the U.S. So I was always able to find a place to work out. But do I work out now? No. And to be honest with you, you know what? At 55, I'm still not in bad shape, right? I'm about 20 pounds, not even 20 pounds heavy, too heavy. My doctor wants me for, I'm 6'2" and I weigh 220 pounds. And my doctor wants me to be at 6'2" and about 205. The last time I weighed 205 pounds, I was 20 years old. Right? You know what and they say, well, you were in your fine fighting trim. So at 20 years old, I was in my optimal condition. Nice body, very low BMI, body mass index. I was, in good shape and good condition. And here I am at 55, and all I've done is put on 15 pounds. So I'm not too bad. Like the arms are, I got a little teeny belly roll going on here, but every guy my age has that. But I can still see my dicky do, so I'm not too worried about that. As long as you can look down and still see the ground, and there's not a shadow on your feet, then you're doing all right. Program, I could use some cantaloupe right now. Hey, go get yourself some cantaloupe. Cantaloupe. Back in Black, one of the best albums ever. Mad Acoustic. That album was put out in 1980, and I think now I'm not going to say this, but I think because at one time it did. I don't know if it still does, but I think Back in Black was the held the record for the most album sales for one album. I'm not sure if Back in Black still holds that title, but at one point it did for album size sales worldwide for one single album, not for a band's career, but for one album. Back in Black held the record for the most album sales. Gunhouse in Wisconsin, Reggie. I wish I could. What do you think of immigrants? Jeff Clark. We already talked about that earlier. To be honest with you, I'm not going to go over the whole thing again, but let's just say I have no problem with immigrants or the immigration system if it's being used the way it was designed to be used. And right now in Canada, our immigration system is not being used the way it was designed to be used. It's being used as a weapon. And unfortunately, it's not working. That's all I'm going to say. That boating accident, yeah, exactly. That boating accident, we lost all our equipment. That was a sad day. Exactly. And it's the funny thing about Canada, and I've said this before, and Buck's heard me say this probably 100 times. Same with Crag Rat. They cracked down in Canada and took they took all our guns. Right? Let's just say what it is. Um, they literally knocked on our door and took all our guns. Okay. Um, Now, and we're not allowed to have them, right? We're allowed to have very select few hunting rifles for hunting, and you're not allowed to have handguns. You're not allowed to have any of that kind of shit, anything like that. But just because we're not supposed to have them doesn't mean we don't. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Just because we're not supposed to doesn't mean we don't. Got to get a 45 Colt 911, most reliable handgun ever made, as far as I'm concerned. Um, you know, It's gone through the wars and survived. It's always been reliable. Doesn't jam, doesn't rust, doesn't fuck. You can throw the thing in a lake and go pick it up fucking 30 years later, pull it out, load it, pull the hammer back, and it will fire. There you go. Mississauga is GTA. Okay. Hamilton is trashy and it sucks because Hamilton, the city, looks nice and it's placed nicely, but the people and the police and the infrastructure sucks nuts. Nathan, I can't disagree with you. For years I lived in Waterdown, which then got amalgamated by Hamilton, and that's when Waterdown went to shit. It was very small little town, and then it got amalgamated by Hamilton and basically turned into the city. So I've spent a lot of time in Hamilton, and I just don't like it. It's dirty, it's gross. Okay, now she's about to shoot a Canadian goose, right? If you guys hear gunshots, it's Victoria taking out the Canadian geese flying over top. If that goose shits on her, you're gonna hear a fucking shitstorm go off. I tell you right now. She'll just. I'm not gonna say that. That's true. People can be book smart and have no common sense. Well, common sense, either you're born with it or you're not.
G- gun runner, or gun runner, gunner. Common sense is something that can't be taught. Morals can be taught. Lessons can be taught. Common sense is something either you have it or you don't. That's just the way it is. Right? So if you're a person and you've got no common sense, and Gunner, you know, you're at the age now where you can walk into a room and there's 35 people, and within 15 minutes you're walking around listening to various conversations. You can tell right off the bat either this person has common sense or this person doesn't have common sense. And it's a simple thing. You know, it's as simple as that. You can't teach common sense. It is common sense is um it's accrued as a person ages, as you get older, from the time that you're born until the time that until the time that you die, you never stop learning. And common sense is something that is part of your life that you learn through life. It's not learned as a lesson. It's not, you don't get it from your parents. It's learnt through life, life's lessons, life's this. As life goes on, you learn the good, the bad, the difference, and that's what makes common sense. And then you learn to apply common sense to your life through the lessons of what you've gone through in your life. And that's how common sense works. And if you're a 55-year-old guy and you're fucking dumber than a fucking street post, or you know, you walk through life like a fire hydrant, chances are that you have not taken the lessons that you've had in life, and you've not learnt from your experiences, and you've not applied those lessons to your life, and you just got no common sense. There's a lot of people out there like right there, right now. Listen to country cowgirls. Listen to country cowgirls. I don't know. I don't know. That can get some people in trouble. Wrist extensions? Am I missing shit here? What the fuck are you guys talking about? I used to swim a lot, miss it. Um, I don't mind swimming. With the exception of this house right here, actually, in the house I had up in just up north here that we sold, I've had swimming pools, and even though I have swimming pool, I very rarely swam in them. I'm a hot tub guy. I like to take my old busted frame and get into a hot tub and just sit there with a cold drink and smoke a cigar, and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not a swimming pool guy. Swimming pool, if you're going to get into a swimming pool, and unless you're just dog paddling around, if you're going to get into a swimming pool and swim, that's borderline exercise, dude. The trucking industry has taken a dumb turn. I started driving at 21. I'm now 38, and I had to leave the business. Um, Seven's Ghost, I can't disagree with you. The trucking industry has taken, it's not just a dumb turn. Yeah, I think you might be saying a downturn, but um, it has. It has. The One of the issues that I found was that I looked back at my business in trucking. I looked back 10, 15 years at the money that I was making, and I looked at it the last year, like, because I've just recently retired from trucking, but I look at the last year and I go, okay, yes, my truck is generating more money now than it did, say, back in 2015. But the money that I'm keeping, my profit and the money that I'm making is the same as I was making in 2015. But yet the cost of living has gone up threefold since 2015 in the last 10 years. So if the economy, and life in general, at the speed of life, or inflation they call it, if inflation has grown threefold and my wages have not been able to keep up with that, but yet my cost to do business has tripled, how do you make any money? You can't do it. And I decided, and and obviously I had to talk to Victoria about it, and I had to get out of trucking. I had to get out of it. And it was time to, while I'm still on top. I retired from trucking while I'm still on top. I'm still able to drive. I'm still very effective. I'm not patting myself on the back, but I'm a good driver. I'm still, I can still outrun the youngsters. They're still nipping at my heels, but I went out while I was on top. I'd rather go out at the top of my career while I still and be proud of it than have to get out, on the downslide coming down the other end. I used to be in trucking long haul. It's just not worth it today. Stand up, you don't look fat at all. I'm not fat. I'm not fat. I got myself a little rubber dinghy ring around the waist, but even then, if I stand in front of the mirror and I do the like that, I look pretty fucking good, man. I look pretty fucking good. Not tooting my own horn, but I look pretty good, you know. And luckily for me, you know, I've got a smoking hot girlfriend that likes dad bods. Winner. Fuck lottery win. Okay. How do you complain about that, right? You got a smoking hot girlfriend on your arm that likes dad bods. All right. Uh, am I a soldier? No, I'm not a soldier. I've never served in the military. It's remember, I don't know if you were anybody was here like an hour ago, but it's something that I did say that, you know, I have very few regrets in my life. I've done it pretty much everything that I wanted to do. One thing that I do regret, and I do is a regret, is I never served my country. I never stepped up. I had a choice in those days. I was going along the path of life, and at one point, you know, you come to that crossroads, and you can turn left to do one thing, or go, you know, you turn left and go down the wrong path in life, and then or you can go right and go down the right path in life. I chose the wrong path in life early in my life, and you know, I really wished, obviously, that I hadn't, but because I have, it has afforded me to be who I am today. But in doing so, I never served in the military. They wouldn't. They obviously they would not have accepted me. Can't even have it loaded or the ammo beside you right now. Yeah, it depends on where you are. All you need is love. I did this yesterday, and every single one of yous just went dun 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 dun. Dun. See the name "All You Need Is Love" is in there, right? So all you need is love, and every one of you is now doing it again. Dun 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 dun. Dun. All you need is love. All you need is saying good morning to 2-4. I th I gotta be careful. 2-4 is a sneaky little bastard. I know that he's always got my back, but I think if you put enough beer into 2-4, he might try to steal my girl, so he's got a he's got a dad bod. No, I'm good? I'm good, okay, alright, thanks. Craig Rat York, birds make me homicidal. Yeah, she's, I have literally we've been sitting out here, so I'd be sitting out here like this, and she'll be sitting over there like that, and there's a great big fucking tree right there, like, I'm right here, okay? So there's a no, you they can't see you, they can't see you. So see those 2 trees? Okay, so they're full of birds. I have literally seen her the birds are up there chirping, I have literally seen her jump out of that chair, run over to the tree, and she's going like this, and the fucking birds scatter. And not only did have I seen her do it, we've had friends over here sitting out back, and they've seen her do it too. So, it's probably Victoria is not an avid gun believer, but I think if she had a gun in her hand at that time, she'd be shooting rounds into that tree. All birds would be gone. If she was sitting out here with a 12 gauge, all you'd hear was boom, boom every 5 seconds. The oldest you've shot was a 1864 Smith& and Wess's .32 rifle. I've never shot one. I've never shot one. Um, I'll be honest with you, I was never a rifle guy. I had at one point a really nice collection of handguns, to which, they were taken away from me, and they weren't necessarily taken away from me. Um, I voluntarily handed them over. That's all we're talking about there. Mr. Perfect Song, nice name, man. Even Edmonton downtown north side is kinda gross. Well, I hate to say this, Gunner, but, we you know, being from Toronto and being from Ontario, and we know the state of Hamilton being the basically the garbage can of Canada. Edmonton t for us out east, when I was living out east, for us out east, fucking Edmonton is the garbage can out here. So, yeah, let's see here. I delivered once into Quebec, seems a bit rough, their area I went to, and they speak French. Um, Depends on where in Quebec you went. If you there's a shady side of there's a shady side to any of the big cities. Like the province of Quebec, they have two major cities. They got Montreal, right? Everybody's heard of Montreal, and then they got Quebec City, which is the capital city, but it's also a big city. If you go to any one of those two cities, then you will definitely find the shadier side of life. Okay, so I've just been cued that I'm way behind in the comments again. Bro, you're so behind in the stream. Yeah, okay. Shannon. Well, I'm still having a ball trucking, hanging with my teeth like every hanging on with my teeth like everybody else. Shannon, though, the difference between you and a lot of these guys, and this is something that you and I have spoken about at lengths on the phone, is that you've been very wisely, because you have not been an owner operator all that long in the scope of the big picture. Okay, as an owner operator, I think you're what, at 4 years or maybe 5 years, if that. Um, but very, very wisely, you have surrounded yourself with the best people in the business, as far as I'm concerned, or some of the best people. You have partnered up with people in the business that know the business. They know that, there's the trucking business, and then there's the business of trucking. And you have very, very wisely mated yourself up and mated your business up with some other people that are very, very wise in this business. And that is an advantage that you have, and much like myself, I always had mentors in this business, right? Even though I'd been doing it for so long, and there's so many people that were, that were behind me, there are still guys in this business that I would pick up the phone, because I don't know everything. And there are people that I would pick up the phone and I'd call Johnny Poole and go, "Hey, man, this is the situation. This is what's going on. How do you deal with this? Help me out here." And you do the same thing. You've got two people that I respect more than anything in the world are on your side, right? And one of them is Jeff Like, and the other one is Snorlord. Both of those people are an absolute wealth of information. And the beautiful thing is you get it for free. And you're very wise in that area. And again, like I said, we've spoken about this at length. That's one of the advantages that you have. Not everybody in this business has those advantages. I wish they did, but they don't. Okay. All you need to love is talking about magpies. They're chirping right now. I don't know how she's not. I don't know how she's killing this. How she's not out there killing this. Good old Cobra chickens. Well, you're talking, those are geese. Canadian geese are Cobra chickens. They're brutal. Sir, excuse me, but you have definitely risked your life to serve two countries. So, well, thank you, Shannon. I have not only risked my life, but as somebody said to me the other day, with the career that went as long as I did, and that I got out, it's a miracle that I got out with all my brain cells intact. My eyes still work. I'm still functionable. I gave it all, right? I really did. I gave it all. Love is all you need. There you go, Gunner. In Vegas, you can get both, Jeffrey. Oh, we need to go to Vegas. She doesn't want to go to Vegas. She knows I'm going to sit at the fucking blackjack table for like 40 hours straight. I'll just give her here, take the credit card. The trick to going to Vegas with your girl is you go with another couple, right? So that she's got another woman to hang out with, and the two guys will sit there and play cards all night, and sit there and gamble all night, and the women can go off and do whatever. Now, don't get me wrong, you still got to spend some time with your woman while you're in Vegas, but hey, 52, you have spent 32 years in logistics. Year after year, the drivers became worse and worse, and I do not know how they passed any type of. That is a really good. That is a really good comment, because it is true. It is true. Now, I know that and they keep saying this year after year. Oh yeah, well, they're going to change the standards, and they're going to change the teaching process, and they're going to. I'm not going to believe it till I see it. But yes, I will be honest with you. Like, today, you have to go through a course. It's mandatory now in Canada. You have to take a course, okay, to get your CDL. And I can tell you right now, there are guys that are passing these courses, and I'm thinking, how did you pass a course to get a CDL when you can't read the word stop on a stop sign? How is this happening? So they're circumventing the system, and the quality of educated drivers. I'm not saying the quality of drivers, the quality of educated drivers that are coming out into the industry right now is absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific. Never really liked the Beatles. Wasn't my thing. Me neither. Brit, I'm more a fan of Paul McCartney and his solo stuff, Wings and his solo Paul McCartney. But the Beatles stuff, nah, nah. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna quickly go again. Don't worry, my wife is all I need, bro. There you go. I'm nearly 10 years as an owner operator, tanker yanker with the Big Orange. But you know what? Britt, you're another one. You know, you are a mentor. I know that you're a mentor. I know that you know, the big orange, they use you at times for the new guys coming in. They refer them to you for advice and everything like that. But on the other hand, you don't know everything about the business. And there's been times where I'm sure that you've had to, you know, reach out for help and you've gone to somebody who knows more than you. Anybody in the trucking industry, in the trucking business or the business of trucking, that claims that they've never needed help. Okay. I was self employed. I was an owner operator for 25 years. I did not do it by myself. There's no way in hell I'm going to ever sit here and say, yes, I did it. I led the charge. I was in charge. Every decision was mine. I did. That'd be bullshit. Okay. That would be a total bullshit lie. I made mistakes. But on the other hand, I was given some very good advice at a very young age. And that is, if you don't know the fucking answer to something, you find somebody who does. Because when you're self employed in trucking business, the wrong decision can cost you thousands. So you got to remember that. And if you're in this business now, find yourself a mentor. Hook yourself up with some people. You know, hook yourself up with some. Find people that have been doing it longer and better than you. People hate to hear, oh, nobody does it better than me. Yeah, they do. Fuck, it doesn't matter how good you are. There's always somebody doing it better than you. Find those people. Those are the people I want to talk to. And it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't necessarily have to. I didn't necessarily always go to a mentor that was older or long. There are people that have been doing it not, you know, maybe half as long as I have, that maybe have a different idea or a different way of doing it. My mind is open enough to sit there and go, holy fuck, look at this youngster. He's killing it. I want some of that. You know, I am blessed. Yes, sir. Relationships are everything in business. They are. Shannon, they absolutely are. Jeffrey Clark's throwing 499. TRY, what's that? What's a TRY? What currency is that? Hopefully it's something good because I know if it was a US dollar, so you sent me $5 American. If you sent me $5 American, that's like what? Fucking $200 Canadian? So I don't know what a TRY is. Hold on, actually it converts it up here for me. It's 17 cents Canadian. Jeffrey Clark, where the hell are you? You just sent me 17 cents. Thank you. I'll take it. I appreciate it. It's 4.99 to you wherever you're from. It's 4.99 of hard-earned money out of your pocket, believe me. I appreciate it, and it will be put to good use. You know, it will be put to good use. 2-4, I know, right? Message deleted. Oh, you guys getting out of hand? Looks like Crag Rat's doing a little work here. Blank guns scare birds off, scare neighbors too. Well, where I live here, right? Like I live in a townhouse complex, and I've got one of those salt guns for killing flies, right? Much to my girlfriend, she didn't want to order it. It took me a week to get her to order the damn thing. I had to get her absolutely shit faced hammered. She didn't. The next day she didn't remember ordering it, but I got it. So, but it is a fun little toy. You just sit here and boing, and it shoots salt, right? Just regular table salt, and it's pretty cool. I was sitting out here yesterday with it, and then the lawn maintenance guys came by, and this guy's standing on one of those stand-up riding, you know, lawnmowers, and he sees me shooting these fucking flies. He stopped. I looked at him and I said, "It shoots." I had to yell, right? It's like it shoots salt, man. It's made of plastic. Relax. I probably would have had a SWAT team roll up. While guys do 2 or 3 things together, women do 15 things together, if not 75 things. Respect to men, of course, but sorry, guys, it's just how God made us. I can't disagree with that. My woman can multitask doing things. Fucking, she can do 10 things while I do 2. It's just a fact of life. Women are built differently like that. They can do that. Women also make better truck drivers than men. If you guys don't like the sound of that, sorry, but it's absolutely true. Big Orange Schneider, yeah, Schneider. Um, women are just built that way. Women make better truck drivers. When was the last time you pulled into a truck stop and you saw somebody backing into a spot late at night? They've been driving all day and they're tired and they're backing into a spot and they're getting frustrated and the antennas are whipping back and forth and the truck's jerking and everything like that. That's a guy. If that's a woman backing into that spot, most of the time, if that was a woman backing into the spot, she'd get the thing lined up, and then if she still wasn't sure, she wouldn't be doing the back and forth. She'll get out of the truck, walk around, take a look down the back, do this, do that, and then try again. Then if that patience. Women have more patience when it comes to driving. They're not as rambunctious and they're not as what's the word I'm looking for? The word is eluding me, but women just on top of that, women have better hand-eye coordination than men, finer motor skills. Okay, and they also have better depth perception in their eyes. So when they're looking in that mirror, their picture is a lot crisper than it is. Even if you're a man and you got 20/20 vision, that woman's vision with 20/20 vision is better than yours, her depth perception. So, and her fine motor skills are more finely tuned than a man's. And that's just the way women are built. It's not because they're doing anything different, it's just the way they are. There was a whole great big study put out on this. And then I did some videos of it about it several years ago, and they're on the channel. Go check it out. Brian, get a motorcycle with straight pipes and fire up every time you want to scare the birds. Yeah, but I'd probably have the cops here. True self-improvement or better approach. I got no problem with self-improvement. Just booked my first ever load of peanuts. They're going to be heavy. Well, they're probably going to be heavy. The pretty penny's going to be working. You're going to have that Cummins. You're going to have that Cummins tuned up and ready to go. She's going to be a heavy load. Jack the Stripper. Nice name, man. Fuck, nice name, Jack the Stripper. Love it. Nice handle, man. Good to see you. What's up, friend? Sal? Come on in, Jack. Sit down, relax. Just don't get off. Anybody get that? I'm not the only one that fucking got that. Come on. I have a family friend who just ordered the W900 Legacy Edition truck. When I saw when I saw the price tag, my jaw fucking dropped. He is just assuming business keeps up. You better. You better. Now here's the thing, Quinn. Yes, those trucks are ridiculous. I think the W9 legacy edition in Canada, depending on what province you're in, taxes in and everything out the door, you're over $300,000. Canadian guys, you're over $300,000. So you better have at least a minimum of 100 grand to put down on that truck. Because I tell you right now, if you've thrown 50 grand down and you're financing 250,000 bucks or 260 or 270,000 bucks, if you're financing that, you're looking at a fucking five because you've only got 6 years to pay it off, right? If you're financing it, most truck financing is 6 years. So it's funny that you can buy a house for $300,000 and finance it over a 25-year mortgage, but you can buy a $300,000 truck and they only give you 6 years to pay it off. Unless you put it on your credit line or something like that, but that wouldn't make sense business-wise to do that. But a $300,000 plus truck, unless you've got a substantial down payment, you're looking at a 5 or 6 thousand dollar a month truck payment, and this market today can't sustain that. You can't sustain a $5,000 truck payment unless you are living in the truck, unless you don't pay rent, you don't have a mortgage, you don't have a girlfriend, you don't have child support, you don't have kids. If you are a single guy and all you've got is a duffel bag with all of your worldly belongings in it and you're living in that truck, you might do it. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. That's a lot of money, man. Sonic and the team. Hey, sir, could you not stop? Well, we're not going to stop smoking today. One day. What do we do in this stream? We're just doing an early morning chit chat, just having a little talk, just shooting some shit, just saying hi to people. Free pubs for men. I got no problem with that. Every man, what are you saying? Every man should own a pub? Got to roll and play with the Cincinnati traffic, but we'll be listening. Britt, be safe, brother. Cincinnati is one of those cities I fucking hate going, especially like it's what time is it? Since you're not Cincinnati's an hour ahead of me, so it's 8:30 in the morning. So you're gonna catch it. Hopefully you get the. Hopefully it doesn't hit or hurt you too bad, Britt, and you get out of there and make good time. But Cincinnati is one of those goddamn cities that fuck. It doesn't matter which way you're going, north, south, east, or west. It does not make a goddamn bit of fucking difference. It hurts you at rush hour. How many cigs do you smoke a day, brother? I don't know. I don't count. I look like the carpenter that fired you. I would never fire you. Tenacious. There's maybe one of the words I was looking for. Thank you, Shannon. Tasty tea. That's bullshit about hand-eye coordination. Look at it's. I'm not making this up, right? This is go look in the medical journal and go look it up and there's been documented in the trucking world. There's been documentaries done, and it's documented that women have better hand-eye coordination. They do, yeah, and they've got better fine motor skills than we do, and they're more patient than we are. Us men are more arrogant. Well, that's also women can see the inside of men's souls. I can tell you this right now, Victoria, Victoria can see right through me, right? Women are more empathetic. Well, yeah, but I don't know if empathy helps you as a truck driver when you're trying to cram a fucking 78-foot vehicle into fucking space that's only 13 and a half feet wide. You know, there's not a lot of empathy. Men have better hand-eye coordination or faster reaction time and depth perception. Well, Jeff, if you say that and you're talking about personal experience, then fine. I'm just telling you about some research that I did and then made some videos about it. That's what was said. Women have. Um, and I guess for the most part, I look at certain things in my life as a man that's raised 6 daughters, and I've been married a couple of times and had some women and certain things and certain aspects about women. I will agree. I will agree with that. They do. Women have better fine motor skills. Their eyes are built differently, a little differently than men. They have better depth perception when looking in a rearview mirror. Friend of mine ordered the KW 900 was 320,000 before taxes. Yeah. Mark, who the fuck? And on top of that, you're buying a brick, right? W9 is probably the least aerodynamic truck in the world. It's like driving a brick through the air. So why? Were you spending 320,000 bucks to drive a brick through the air? The best you're gonna get out of it is 7.5 miles per gallon, maybe 8. When today's newer trucks, like the new Volvos, are getting 10, right? The new Freightliners are getting 9 right out the gate before that Detroit's even broken in. That truck right out the showroom floor is getting fucking 9 miles a gallon. Why would you handicap yourself? Do you know the difference in dollar value difference between a 7 mile per gallon truck and a 9 mile per gallon truck? You're talking about thousands of dollars. Why would you handicap yourself? Just so you can pull into the truck stop at the end of the night, you got the biggest dick in the parking lot? Look at me. They're beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I've owned one. I've owned one. I've owned a W9, right? And I owned a W9 and I had it paid for free and clear. I didn't owe a dime on it, no payment on it. And it still cost me more to run that truck in fuel than it did the Freightliner when I had a payment on it. I had a $2,300 a month payment on that Freightliner, and it still was cheaper to run the Freightliner than it was to run the W9. Hurts less than 18 years of bills too. I'll agree with that. You're behind on comments, scroll down. Okay, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. My load of peanuts is only 8,000 pounds. Woohoo. What do you got? Air nuts? You got air nuts. Women get cheaper auto insurance too. That's not for there's a reason for that, right? Think about that. Gunner, there's a reason for that. That's a flying load, Shannon. Yeah. A crag rat, that could be taken in many ways. That's a flying load. You might want to rephrase that next time, especially when talking to a woman. Sorry, there's a lot of deleted comments. Getting the smoker ready, doing a pulled pork. I'm on my way. Your research might be done by your girlfriend Victoria. No, this research was done long before I got together with Victoria. Keep looking at the camera. I'm almost finished. There you go. Keep going. Get it done. I have a fine Cummins X15. I have the fine Cummins X15 motor skills. There, there you go. Okay, the dog is here. Guard dog is finally here. He hasn't been here. He's been out on the range. Guard dog owns a sizable ranch down in Florida, and he's a cattleman. And so when he's got nothing to do, he decides to hang out with us. But anybody that knows that if you own a cattle ranch, there's a lot of work to do. So we haven't seen guard dog. I've been talking to him on off camera and off of YouTube, so I know what he's been doing. But he got a little pissy. He got a little pissy yesterday, or was it yesterday? You got a little pissy, John, and I guess he went back and he was watching the live or watching the chat when the chat just absolutely got fucking out of hand, and he's like, "Do I have to come back in there and kick some ass?" And it's like, "Yeah, dog, you do." I don't think Cragrat was in that day, and I don't know where Camille was, but yeah, the chat got absolutely astronomically fucking ridiculous. The '23 Dodge Ram 1500 doesn't get great mileage in the city, tell you that much. It doesn't get great mileage anywhere. My 8-year-old truck getting 8.5 miles per gallon on average. That Freightliner was still getting 8.5. It was a 2020, still getting 8.5 and still pull it, it still pulled 80,000 pounds, no problem. Your fine motor skills because of smaller fingers but no on depth perception or hand-eye coordination. Try Google. Not being a jerk either, just stating research facts. Hey, Benson, if that's what you've come up with on Google, that's fine. Um, I did my research a few years ago. Fine motor skills, hand-eye coordination. Um, look around at women and when they're doing certain things. Women generally have neater handwriting than men do. Women generally don't suffer from, when they get you take a woman and put a few drinks into her, okay, and she's not sticking her cigarette in her eye like a man would. Bottled moose is the best. Stays good for 1.5 to steel. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. I know you had a W9. We talked about it many times. I loved that truck, but it just was not business-wise, it just was not worth keeping. It didn't make sense business-wise to keep that when I can have a $2,300 a month truck payment and I'm still making more money on my fuel, right? So a $2,300 a month truck payment was still paying that payment was still less than the fuel I was burning on that W9 in a month. Now, don't get me wrong, I love that W9, had this, a 60 series Detroit, had the 12.7 in it, an 18-speed twin stick transmission in it. It was fantastic truck, and it was fun as hell to drive, and it would go like a bat out of hell. But the best it would turn is 5.5, 6 miles per gallon. What do you think of Tesla? Jeffrey, I would not drive a Tesla if you handed me one and gave it to me for free. I would take it from the dealership to my driveway. I'd put a for sale sign in it and get rid of it. I would never drive a Tesla. I'd never own a Tesla. I have no respect for Teslas, none. I did an Edmonton to North Carolina 26-foot truck. I've done a lot of business in Edmonton. I can't say I necessarily went to North Carolina, but what were you doing? Driving a 26-foot truck, or you were pulling a 26 truck, 20 foot? I used to do a lot of treadmills too, probably 200 of them. Heaviest was 880 pounds. I've pulled everything. I've done a good portion of my career. I did oversized and heavy haul. So I've pulled, ridiculous weights and stupid size loads. Um, and I miss that. As for Victoria, we'd be driving down the road and I'll see a great big oversized load going down the road and I watch it as it's going. I've even turned to her and said, God, I miss that. It's a lot of fun. What do you think of the new electric rigs? Benson, again, I don't have any. Here's my thought on. I'll give it to you real quick. Okay. And we'll use Teslas. We'll use cars, the electric cars. And then you know what, guys? I got to probably end this because I got shit I got to do. But here's just the 18 million. I saw that he just went live, and I'm going to try to catch some of that. Um, here's my quick thought on it. Okay, you take an electric vehicle, whether it be a Tesla or one of the fucking new trucks or anything like that. Okay, and you take the Tesla and you go, okay, people are going, this is a green car. It's an emissions free car. It's good for the environment. While that car is operating, yes, it's good for the environment. But the carbon footprint left to make that car would have to run for 30 years to erase the carbon footprint it took to make that car. Okay. So you think, and just think about it in this sense here. Those cars are run with lithium. The batteries are lithium. Where does lithium come from? Well, it's mined out of the ground. And where is it? Most of the lithium mined out of the ground. Not all of it. Most of it's over in other countries. So now you've got construction vehicles, like loaders, backhoes, all that kind of shit. They're digging it out of the ground. And then once it gets dug out of the ground, all of those machines run on diesel. Right? And then once it's dug out of the ground, what do they do with it? It goes onto a truck, right? And then that truck runs on diesel. And then from that truck, it then goes from that truck usually to a port, right? Or goes onto a train, depending on where it's coming from. But it goes onto a most cases it's coming from overseas. It goes onto a boat. Do you know how many fucking gallons of fucking diesel one of those clunker boats fucking puts out an hour? So that so then it goes onto that boat. The boat brings it across the Atlantic Ocean. It pulls into Norfolk, Virginia, and then it's taken off of that onto another truck, which was running on diesel. Okay. And then from there, it's taken to a fucking factory or a plant, and then it's refined. Again, being refined in the refinery process, they're using vehicles that are using combustion engines, diesel. So you get my point here. From the beginning stage to the end stage, when they put that battery into the car, the carbon footprint left to make that battery and to put that car on the road, that car has to run for 30 years to make up the a Tesla battery is not going to last you 30 years. You're lucky to get 5 years out of one before it melts, blows up, or fucking just stops working. So, and it's the same with the trucks. So I have no use for them. Jeffrey, yeah, they're fast. I'll give you that. So I'm just going to quickly jump down. No politics. No, we're not talking politics here today. Just seen the guy talking about pallets. No idea how pallets pay, but the residential moves pay nice. Um, I've pulled pallets, but not as a pallet driver. Like there are guys out there that that's all they do is they pull pallets from one plant to the other or whatever like that. I would imagine it probably pays all right. I don't know. Um, I've got half a cup of coffee and a smoke. When this is done, we're done, guys. I appreciate there's 75 of you in here right now. I appreciate that. We got 96 likes. Give me four more likes. Let's break 100. Just give me four more likes. Let's break 100. I'd appreciate that. It's the same with the cars. The electric cars are the same as the big wind turbines. And don't get me wrong, I've pulled those, okay? Those big wind turbines that you see out in the goddamn field, I've pulled those. I've pulled the blades, I've pulled the midsections, the bodies on them, and the rings that connect. And I've pulled all that shit. But one of those turbines would have to be out there for fucking 25 years, producing electricity for 25 years to make up the carbon footprint it took to put that fucking windmill up there and get it operating. That's just a fact of life. So is it worth it? No, it's not. It's not worth it. What up, Wheelbird? Fast Eddie? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. You're coming in right at the end. I got one smoke and half a cup of coffee left here, and then we're gonna wind this down. I got shit I got to do. Victoria just went in the house, and she's probably in there getting showered and cleaned up and ready to go. So I got to do the same thing. Shows 105 in there. 105 likes. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate that very much. I used to pull everything. Now I struggle to pull myself out of bed. Well, you can pull yourself before you pull yourself out of bed. It might give you the energy to get out of bed. Either that or it might go the opposite way and now you'll need a fucking 8-hour nap. Plays on the freeway. There's our friendly voice from California, one of the only Californians I allow in here. Freeway's another one, guys, that plays on the freeway. Has been with our channel, I think, pretty much since we started. We got some long timers in here today. Got some long timers in here since the channel started. I think Freeway's been with us. Absolutely appreciate the support. Do I support trans people? You know what? Live and let live, Max. Do I support them? Do I not support them? You know what? If that's what you are and that's who you are, then you have every right to be that way, and I'll respect it. I don't care. I don't care. I said earlier, I don't care what color you are, what creed you are, what religion you are, what you identify as, anything, anything. I don't care. I will respect the fact that that's who you are, or what you want to identify. I don't care. It's not a fucking problem in my life. What if you're a trans? And I have a very large family. Not only myself having 6 children, but I have a huge family with cousins, all roughly about my age as well, because my mom had 4 sisters and they all popped out fucking big litters. Right? My mom is the only one that had 2 kids, me and my brother. The rest of them all put out fucking litters. And so we have a huge family of aunts, uncles, cousins, and now the cousins have had kids, and my cousins all have kids my kids' age. So, our family is absolutely fucking massive. So we have in my family, we have black, we have white, we have trans, we have gay, we have bi, we have what do we got? What else we got? We fuck you name it. You name it. You can hit on it. It's probably in my family somewhere. We've got a massive family. Does that affect me in any way? No. Fuck, I love them all. They're my family. Makes no goddamn difference what you are, who you identify as, what your religion is. I don't give a shit. The only thing I ask is, if you know what, whatever your religion is, enjoy your religion. Believe in your religion. Do your religion. Don't cram it down my throat because I don't believe in your religion. That's all I ask. I don't ask nothing else. It doesn't get any fucking simpler than that. I can't break it down any easier than that. I will give you anything you want. I will respect you. I will give you love. I will give whatever. Just respect me and what I believe in, and the way I think and the way that I live my life. If you can just have a little mutual respect. So do I support trans people? Fuck, there's trans people in my family, for fuck's sake. We've got one trans in our family. Do I treat her any different than I treat anybody else in life? Fuck no. You know what? She's married to my daughter. What's important to me is that my daughter's happy. Is my daughter happy? My daughter's fucking happy. Then I'm fucking happy. I don't care who she's married to, whether it be black, white, Chinese, fucking Mexican, trans, whatever. I don't give a fuck if you identify as a goddamn fire hydrant. My daughter's happy. Then I'm a happy man. Hey man, are you secure in your old life? Am I secure in my old life? Are you saying that I'm old? Am I secure? Yeah, I'm as secure as I could possibly be. I'm secure as I've possibly been able to make myself. In that case, am I secure? Yeah. Am I secure in my old life? The life that I came from, say, 35 years ago, and the life that I was living back then? I don't give that a second thought. Those are lessons to be learned, and how not to live and how not to be a person. That's, then not exactly I wasn't living the best lifestyle. I wasn't the nicest of people. I was not the nicest guy in the world. There was no empathy. Very, very little empathy in my life. And that's only because in my mindset, the world revolved around me, and my drug habit, and the problems I was dealing with in my life back then. And it's not, I say drug habit. Notice I just say drug habit and not drug problem. I didn't have a drug problem or a drinking problem. I had a living problem. I used the drugs and the alcohol as a crutch to deal with life. But am I secure in it today? Absolutely. There's only one thing my missus pulls, and it ain't and it ain't mine. Well, I'd like to think that I own mine as well, but I don't. Overtime trucking, 40 million people in Cali. A few of them are bound to be good, at least a few. Well, overtime trucking. Think about it this way, right? I think California. has 47. I think you guys are 47 million. I know that Canada has 45 million people or around there. I think the state of California has more people than my entire country in Canada. But over the last, what, 2 years is it over time? There's been a massive bailout of people leaving California. And where are they going? They're going to fucking Texas. There's something going on in California. Car batteries are pretty pricey. Last year I paid 280, best deal I found. Basic bitch battery. Yeah, I got no faith in them whatsoever. That's crazy. You'll weather the Brits in here in California's. You guys are absolutely killing it. I pulled everything: tanks, gravel, flatbed, and reefer, and some oversized. It was all fun. I've never pulled tanks, Mark. I've done all of anything you can pull on a flatbed. I've done vans, reefers, heater boxes, flats, oversized, heavy haul. I've done all of that. I've never pulled a tanker, and I've never pulled gravel. Like I've never done a live bottom, pulled live bottom, or anything like that. Surviving with Terry, good name. Trans folks are fine as long as you don't need a parade. Firefighters and soldiers deserve those. I know a few conservative trans folks. My girlfriend is trans, and she treats me better than, you know what? I can agree with that. Save the parades for the firefighters, soldiers, cops, EMT workers. Save the parades for them. Um, Um, so I do agree with that. And like I said, one of my daughters is married to a trans, and my daughter is happy, and her partner is happy. They live a good life. They work hard. They're a contributing factor to society. Who am I to fucking say anything? They're fucking happy. And that the fact that my kids are happy, it makes me happy. I don't give a shit. Buy what's that? Buy, try Muslims. Again, Muslims, I don't give a fuck. You can be whatever you want. Muslim, fucking Zionist or whatever those are. I don't give a shit what your fucking religion is. Live your life. People, and I think if you think about this, go back in the history of the world, all the way back to fucking when Christ was born. Okay, more people, more people in our history have died in the name of God than anything else in the world. Okay. More wars and fight and people have died because these people over here have their religion and they don't agree with these people over here that have their religion, and they're going to fucking kill each other over it. And if you go back through the entire history of the world, okay, more people have died in this fucking world in the name of God than anything else in the world. I think in the last 100 years, or say not even 100 years, say 75 years, it's a close second, but I think more people have died in the name of oil, right? In the last 75 years than anything else. Maybe religion is still at the top of that, but hi, Jesus Christ loves you. Well, thanks, Levi. I'm sure he loves you too. Good morning, Dewana. Good to see you. My name is Nobody. Well said, wheel burner. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. And slide down the slope, and the slide down the slope begins. Well, you know what? Every time you go into an area like this, dog, you're going to get a shitstorm. The comments are coming. I cannot give a single care to these mentally unwell psychos after the shootings they've perpetrated. Um, you, there's notorious. There's absolutely no proof that that trigger was pulled by a trans person. Zero. And if you want to think about it, it makes more sense that that trigger was pulled by somebody that was not trans than them that was trans, because the shitstorm that's going on right now, and what Charlie Kirk was doing, and inviting the trans community to debate and all that kind of shit, it makes more sense that somebody outside pulled that fucking trigger, and the fucking trans are going to get blamed for it, and the shitstorm is going on, and as you're going to see over the next couple of days. I do not and will not go against God's world. There you go. You're entitled to that. I respect that. How many genders are there? I don't know. I don't care. That's what I think. Everybody has a right to be happy. Just live your life. Spend more time taking if people in the world or people around you, if you guys took more time, I don't just mean you guys, I just mean the people or the world around. If you took care of yourself, mind your own business and live your own life and take care of yourself. You've spent more time taking care of yourself and doing what's right for you. You wouldn't have time to fucking deal with everybody else and worry what everybody else is. Stop worrying what everybody else is doing. Keep your own shit in order, right? All these people that are out there running, oh, the fuck the trans, fuck the gays, fuck the Muslims, fuck this, fuck that. You know what? Go look at their lives. See if their house is in order while they're out there screaming that. You know what, man? I'd much rather have my own house in order and I don't have to worry about what everybody else is doing. So who's going to be the mother if your daughter has a kid? Don't know, man. That's gonna be one that when it happens, we'll find we'll find out. We really will. I'm gay, and my dad says the same thing, that he is happy. My fiance is from China, and I think my parents, love him more. There you go. There you go. Can't say I love gay and trans stuff in every Netflix show where you're forced to watch it. You know what? Then don't watch it. Gunner, I got a lot of respect for you for over the last couple of days. You've been in here and you're doing, but nobody's forcing you to sit down on your couch and turn that and forcing you to watch it. There is enough shit on TV at some point or another. You don't even need cable these days. Well, I don't even have cable, right? Everything is streamed, right? So everything is streamed, and I can tell you right now, honestly, that I don't. I don't have to, I've got a wide selection of shit. So if that's something you don't really want to watch and you're forced to watch something else. Your wife's not sitting there with a gun to your head going, okay, you're going to watch Queer Eye for the Straight Guy or whatever that fucking show is. And I just pulled that out of my ass, right? Because it was something that came across, but nobody's going to make you watch that. Watch something else. Go watch the Charlie Sheen documentary. It's a 2 episode. I watched that yesterday. It was pretty fucking good. Pretty fucking good. You can see he got on he was very honest, but he got but he got a little uncomfortable at times, and, my hat's off to him. I'm also 5 years clean from IV use. Gaetano, you know what? I never dabbled with needles. I never did that like, injected heroin. I was a coke fiend. Loved cocaine, loved crack, and loved Jim Beam. Those were my 3 right there. I did them all, didn't have a problem with the certain one. Surviving with Terry, my girlfriend is trans and hates woke writing and all the crap TV shows. Some trans folks out there are very decent people. You know what? It's a matter of, what, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Unless there's a trans person or any type of person standing at your front door like the Jehovah's do and they're cramming it down your fucking throat. Unless they're doing that, leave them alone. I got my own shit to do. But had to use because of pain. Where are you from in Canada? I'm out in Strathmore, Alberta. I border with the state of Montana. Heidi, good to see you. Thanks. Guys, I'm going to run real quick to the bottom here just to do a quick trans and military police. What? So what? Okay. Quick. The current emotional climate among people is part of the reason why I stay in the middle of nowhere. Everybody's got their opinions. They really do. I have to run. Was good watching you live. Thanks, Mark. Good to see you, brother. Um, People don't follow the mind their own business part. Well, some of that is just out of curiosity, right? Don't get me wrong. I like a little bit of gossip here and there, and I like, every once in a while I'll be sitting out back and something will be going on. I'll peek my head over the fence and take a peek. But does it affect my life? No, absolutely not. All right, I'm at the bottom here. Like shrooms and cigs too. I enjoyed shrooms and loved acid. My acid trips were not the best though, so I stayed I stayed away from the acid. My brother-in-law doesn't like my job and mouths off. He should mind his own biz. You know what? Everybody should mind your own business. Unless it's happening in your own backyard, then you have to deal with it. But if it's not happening in your own backyard and you're just, living your life and let people live their own life. Like I said, 99% of people are not in a position to judge anybody else, because if you look at the condition of their own house and their own life, a good portion of people that are out there pointing the finger at everybody else, their own house is in shambles. Guys, I speak from experience, you know? Simple as that. Yeah, Charlie Kirk is dead. He got his head blown off yesterday, pretty much. Red deer is pretty cool. Red deer is certain area. Red deer right now is suffering a real bad meth problem. They are going through a very, very bad meth problem. Red deer is. I go to Red Deer once a year with my best friend that I grew up with. His parents moved out there, and I want to move out there. Yeah, but Red Deer is suffering right now. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hello, puppy. Hello, baby. My puppy Victoria's taking the dog for a walk, quick walk here. But anyway, I gotta go because I gotta go get cleaned up because we gotta leave here in about 25 minutes. So, guys, we'll see you in a bit. See you down the road. Be good. Take care of yourselves, but mind your own fucking business. Stop worrying about what other people are doing. Okay? Stop worrying about what other people are doing. Take care of your own business.